to Ride Radio.
And welcome to another Thursday edition of Born to Ride Radio on the Boss Hogg Radio Network. I'm Fester Jenkins. I've got Ron and Debbie Galletti in the studio. I think we've got James Irwin from Healthcare 65. And I'm not sure where Mama Dukes is, so...
She might be at the Strawberry Festival.
It's a little gloomy out there tonight. Maybe she's got her little PJs on and a movie, a Netflix bender going.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
Now, this is great. So, James Irwin from Healthcare 65. 2 weeks ago, he called in, and we left him on hold and forgot him. Last week, he called in. We couldn't get a radio-to-radio transmission going. So this week we said, just get in the hot seat.
Bring him into the studio.
He's
just drag him
He's not in the hot seat. What the heck is with this guy? We cannot get him on the air. Uh-oh, here he comes. We did it. Yay, round of applause. We were just saying it's been challenging to get you in here. We've had some mishaps over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, no, I'm glad to be here. I didn't realize we were on the air when I
We
walked out.
are on the air.
Nice to be here.
The restrooms are all mic'd up and everything, so it was
Super.
oh,
Yeah, I mean, the rain, otherwise we'd be at the Strawberry Festival. You guys have been killing it out there, Fester.
It's been going quite well, and there's been a little bit of inclement weather, but this afternoon, DB messaged me. We looked at the radar, and of course I saw the clouds, and it was starting. Actually, I broke down the tent fairly well this evening, took the banners down because of just the storms they were expecting there. So I thought, it's probably not worth us risking trying to do the show from there.
yeah.
So, but was looking forward to it. Had a great time last week, and I've always enjoyed being out in the public there. Had somebody come by the other day. Was talking with some new prospective listeners that were asking what's Boss Hogg Radio, and a guy came up in between them. He says, "I just need to interrupt for a minute." And he says, "You guys, your station, it rocks." He just turns around and walks off. And I told the two people that I was talking to, I said, "I do not know who that guy is. He is not a paid employee or anything."
He's a true fan.
It's always good when your listeners can actually put a face with the name if they haven't seen you at other events, because I know you do other events, but to be out there in the public and at the Strawberry Festival, I was going to ask you. So it's been over a week already. Do you look at strawberries any differently now?
Year over year.
The power of the strawberry, man.
No, actually, I've had a lot. Are you done with it? I don't find myself getting tired of being there at the fair each day, and from opening till closing. I genuinely have a good time. I genuinely enjoy meeting the listeners and everything there.
But the power of the strawberry itself, that it really brings it all together. This area is known for strawberries, and
What
I mean,
year
that's
is
powerful,
this?
man. I mean, that's really powerful that all the strawberries come mostly from here in Plant City, and it brings that Strawberry Festival together, which is a gigantic economic impact. It brings people from all walks of life, all ages, and they come in there and enjoy themselves, and they see concerts, and there's big concert artists that come too.
Oh, absolutely.
That's big. That's what I mean. How does that affect you, being such a close part of that? This is your backyard.
That's right. If the weather doesn't prevent it, Tesla will be starting in 25 minutes there on the grandstand stage there.
Those are Teslas tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to see Sam Hunt on Sunday night.
Was this Sunday?
I've heard a lot of people talking about wanting to see Sam Hunt. Yes, I mean...
Wow, James. Sorry we couldn't make it tonight because we were going to be at... James was excited and ready to go to the fair today.
Because this would have been his first experience, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm really sorry we missed out on that, but I'm still going to go tomorrow or before. I think it goes till Monday.
Sunday evening.
Sunday
evening.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I want to definitely make it there because, strawberries are always been fond of them. I'm surprised you don't play some of the strawberry alarm clock music on the station. Seems like something
good
something you
idea.
would play in the morning. You know,
What's one of those songs? Strawberry Alarm Clock.
I'm
That's
trying to
you
think.
probably know.
Incense and peppermint.
Oh, incense, peppermint.
I think
It is.
it's a psychedelic music.
Yeah.
I can remember listening to it years ago.
You remember it?
Yeah, I barely.
That's what they say on
in that
88.5.
haze and fog there. Is that what you're trying to imply there, Ron?
That incense and peppermints.
Yeah.
That kind of rhymes, but does it really go together? Incense and peppermints? I guess it could.
Not really. But I mean, their other song was, I think, Good Morning Starshine, which is kind of I remember having to sing that like in grade school in choir or something.
It's like,
But
good
they-
morning, sunshine.
Yeah. That's who the band is. So anyway, that's what I think about when I think of strawberries.
Yeah, but
And of course, Strawberries Fields Forever. I mean, that's the best song ever.
that's another one, man. Oh, man,
Beatles.
Paul McCartney and
Gotta love that.
John Lennon, Strawberry Fields Forever. Yeah, so I mean, just thinking about how it relates to music is, but I mean, there's much more than strawberries. There, it brings so much. I mean, there was turkey legs, corn dogs, all kinds of pizzas, just all kinds of great food, but a lot of people coming together.
Yeah, I heard the hot dog was good that has strawberry and coleslaw on it. I can't imagine, but
I haven't
I was
heard
going
of
to
that
try
one.
that too.
So, Fester, you guys going back tomorrow?
Yes, the Boss Hogg people will be out there till Sunday. Yeah. Now, I won't be. I will actually be heading for Daytona.
Bike week,
Bike
baby.
week. Yes,
where
that's
you're
correct.
heading?
Yep, that's where I'm heading.
What's on your agenda?
Burning bike.
Where are they doing that this year?
They're doing that at a campground. I'm sitting here trying to remember the name of the campground right now. I've got an itinerary list that we're doing, but-
Cackleberry?
No.
No. How did that get started, and what's the concept behind that?
Well, okay, I think everyone's kind of familiar with Burning Man,
Yeah.
out there on the West Coast. And I think what they've done is they've just taken that, instead of it being a man that goes 60 feet up and built out of wood, they build bikes and they're 60 foot tall. And you can go over there, carve your name into it, before it's set on fire. And, it's going to be a big party tomorrow evening.
So it's tomorrow they're doing it.
Yep, tomorrow evening they're supposed to burn the bike.
Friday night.
Burn the bike.
Burn the bike.
Man, and,
Yeah.
talking about
Burn your bra. Why not?
burn-
Let's have a movement all the way.
it's a dilemma.
Burn your toupees.
It's a dilemma, isn't it, James? Are we
Yeah,
caught
it's
up in a. We're getting caught up in a dilemma.
Oh, we are the baby boomer dilemma. And I don't know if anyone's heard about it.
Fast Lane Campground.
Oh,
That's
fast.
it.
Okay.
But anyway, the you were mentioning the dilemma.
Yeah, because it's on a lot of people's minds.
Yeah, good. Well, the baby boomer dilemma, it's going to be showing in theaters and coming up in probably 3 or 4 months. You may have heard some other advertisements about it. If people call me and if they want to see it before waiting till it's in a theater, I can give them a free streaming pass, which will save them $29 because that's what it costs if you want to watch it online right now. So I'm happy to do that, but it's a fantastic film. It features the nation's top economic minds on retirement income, and it talks about really the retirement experiment that really everybody's in right now. As far as that goes, it has Nobel Prize winners, the people, the government officials who invented the 401k, and it's very informative. It's not a snooze. It's exciting. And everyone who's seen it that I'm aware of has really come away with, just thoughts in their head like, I didn't know that, or maybe I should reconsider this or reconsider that. So it's well worth seeing. And if anybody wants to see it, they can see it for free. And
How do they do that?
Well, all they have to do is give me a call. It's toll free, 833-467-2865.
And they get a voucher and they can watch it from their home.
Yeah, that's it. They call, and then they'll just go to, www.boomerbaby.com, and then you'll type in a promo code. It'll say it's $29, but as soon as you type in the promo code, you'll see it's free.
And this movie isn't even out yet. So this is people, this is a preview that you can see it for free. Thanks to James Irwin. He's in the studio with us today. And, he's got healthinsurance65.com. And just a minute ago, you said the pitfalls we are all kind of coming into. Tell us what are some of those pitfalls we're going to be facing and how this movie can help that.
Well, it's essentially you've got these people, and I mean, a lot of this stuff is, it's all documented. This is a documentary. So the people that are saying this are well-known authorities on the subject. So they're talking about how Social Security is going to be cut by a third. So it's explaining to you what you need to do in the future to prepare for that. That's one part of it. But it's basically telling you that you need to be careful with your 401ks and not bank on it because it can turn into a 201k because there's no way you can insure yourself.
Is that like cutting it in half, you're saying?
Yeah.
Is that going to happen to your 401k?
No, please,
But
no.
James, isn't that, exactly why they were telling us 25, 30 years ago when they created them was you don't need to bank on Social Security, do a 401k. Now.
Right.
Right. That's getting affected.
Yeah. So there's other options. And, if people are interested in those solutions, I can tell them over the phone and send them information to their email or visit with them or explain what you can do to safeguard yourself to eliminate that from ever happening to you because nobody wants to end up in retirement broke, and it's, a lot of times people lose their money. Just think of the people in 2008 who were going to retire in 2010 or 2009, and then all of a sudden everything's gone. Our house isn't worth anything. The stuff happens. Stuff happens. That's why they got that bumper sticker. You know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so you have to be prepared and informed on this information. And that's exactly what I do. That's what I've been doing for years and years and years and years.
People, this sounds boring, but you know what? This is life. This
No,
is
it's
what we
my
really
money.
have to deal with
There's
here.
two things you don't mess with.
That's why we brought James. He's an expert at the field. Matter of fact, there's only how many? Professor, you know these numbers. How
The
many
stats.
How many guys like
He's a
him
certified
are in the,
senior specialist.
in the
A little less
country,
than
in the United
3,500 in the United States that have this man's qualifications.
Mm-hmm.
Now, before we go to that, though, two things you don't mess with.
Two things you do not mess with.
food?
Woman's money
A woman's money
and her chocolate,
and her children.
her children.
Yes.
Okay.
Everybody.
And her chocolate. That was
Yeah,
her thing.
okay.
And they're in that order. I'm sorry to say, kids, your money's first. But yeah, you just don't mess with that. And like you're saying, the whole time having a career in the workforce, it's always like, well, first of all, the top guys want the little guys to put money in so they can pass the test and they can max it out, the 401k plan. But I just got an eye opener probably about a month ago. I'm thinking, here I am coming up to retirement. I'll take my 401k, start cashing it in. I know I got to pay my taxes on it, but I didn't realize when I draw my Social Security, whatever's left of it, that becomes a taxable event as well. So now it's going to eat into my 401k because I don't have to pay taxes on my Social Security from my 401k. So I have to start another bucket now for tax money.
Is there a way to get around that?
Oh, absolutely. See, a lot of people.
Hold on. Did you hear what he just said? There is
Yeah.
a way to get
Absolutely.
around
I
that.
know.
Absolutely.
You have-
That's
you
why
have
you
to
got to
plan.
listen, people.
You got to plan for this.
That's why you have to tune in,
You gotta
not
plan.
tune out. Tune into this. He said, "Absolutely, okay, James." How?
Well, essentially what's happened is a lot of people have, put money in the markets and equity funds and things like that, assuming that their tax bracket is going to be lower when they retire. And it's not. And it's actually going to be higher. Does anyone really think the taxes are going to go down? I don't think anyone really thinks that now, especially with the deficit, what it is. So it's only going to get worse. So if everything that you have right now that's being created and accumulating is going to be taxed at some point, what are you going to end up? Whose money really is it? It's not really your money. It's your money in the government. So there's instruments that you can roll a lot of your money into now that will eliminate it from becoming a taxable event when you withdraw it in the future. And that's the short answer to it. Normally I do a full review on what people got going, and then come up with a solution, and they can see everything in black and white. But
So if someone reaches out to you, you could review their, I guess, policies or their investments, or
yeah, absolutely, anything that they have. I mean, I can normally, not always. I mean, sometimes people have received good advice, but normally there's information or there's things that they've done in the past that can be improved upon, and that's really what I do. Is I help people improve their situation without it costing them any additional money.
give me a scenario of how you can help someone improve an aspect of that. Just because a little could go a long way, right, Deb?
Oh yeah, definitely a little bit of help.
Buster, we all need this, don't we?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, we need the bucket of money to start with,
Well, I mean,
but James will find that.
so
Well, yeah,
So how,
I mean, I
what's
can do
what's
it.
something
I mean, for compliance reasons, I can't explain every, certain thing
in general terms?
in general terms, but there's
Third
products,
party.
there's products that we can move the current money that people have to where when they receive it in retirement, it won't be taxed. I can say that much.
Still staying in this country. It's not like we're going to the.
no, we're not doing anything
Yeah.
else. I mean, this is information that, a lot of the financial people, the talking heads know about, but they don't really want to, I guess, share that information because they lose money by doing it because they're making a percentage on what they're managing in that person's equity fund every month. But there's a way to take that money and put it in something else, which is going to take it away from the financial person, but it's also going to provide the owner, the true, the person who accumulated this wealth. It's going to create security for them to where they're in charge and they can't lose. I mean, so there's programs where you can't lose, where there's like a floor and a ceiling. So maybe it can go up 12%, but if the market's doing 20%, it's not going to pay 20%, but it can go 12%. But if the market goes down the next year, 50%, they can never lose anything because there's maybe a floor saying that they're guaranteed to make 2%. So the type of products that I like to offer are the win-win products because I just want everybody to be happy because I think that's what we want. I think that's what my purpose is to help people and to keep people's money safe.
Well, okay. As an advisor, James, what should be a person's first goal? In other words, when we're talking about retirement, we're talking about, other words, what do you need to set yourself up for? What do you need to do?
You want to set yourself up to where the income that you're going to get at retirement is tax-free. That's the biggest thing, to where it can't be taxed. And they have instruments that's available for that right now. Some of those instruments, there is some talk, that maybe they won't be offered anymore, 5-6 years down the road because they're almost too good to be true. And a lot of people don't know anything about them because it's not something that's heavily marketed because, again, it takes money out of a lot of the big financial people's pocket.
And I'm going to assume that.
Do you remember? I'm probably older than you are. I don't know if anyone would remember this. Do you remember this commercial, E.F. Hutton?
Yeah,
Yeah.
when E.F. Hutton talks, people
everybody
listen.
It's not around anymore. You know why? Because that plan that he was offering, the government caught wind of it, how great it was as far as creating tax-free income that they eliminated it.
Really?
Yeah. So
Okay,
So
now-
there's plans like that now, not quite as good as that. I mean, the IRS has stepped in with certain codes where you can't do certain things like that anymore. But there are some fantastic options. And so when you're in retirement, you don't want to pay taxes, I guess is what I'm saying. You don't want
The question.
That's all you got.
The question I have, okay, these certain items, and not getting into specifics, but in other words, let's say you get in it now. Is there going to be a grandfather? Or
Yes.
Okay, so there is kind of some importance then of
There's
doing
some
something
urgency.
while they're there.
There is because I mean, hopefully the economy will get better, and hopefully we won't have to endure some of the things that are going on now. and be stuck with just this huge deficit and having to pay this, gigantic tax bill.
Yeah.
And unless things change, that's what's going to happen. So you need to prepare for the worst and protect yourself and your loved ones from being subjected to this. So, and there's ways to do it, and they're very safe. They're very secure. They're actually, I can show people how it's safer than having money in a bank.
Safer than money in a bank.
Yeah, because of the way it's regulated and the way it's protected. But if someone would get into one of these products, and if they came out with another IRS code to eliminate, like what they did with the A.F. Hutton, to eliminate some of these plans, you would be grandfathered in it. It could never be taken away.
Okay. And I know typically when they sunset certain things like this, they typically don't just simply, okay, you got to move it out. And I was just curious if that was something that, was what they're considering. And I assume when you're talking about this, these are the things that are going on in Washington, D.C., and around in the circles talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, it's happening right now. It's just, and that's why if people watch this movie, The Baby Boomer Dilemma, this is the documentary. So it's no BS. This is all the truth. This is what's happening. These are government officials. These are Nobel Prize winners. These are, some of the smartest financial minds in the country talking about this in this movie. And when people watch it, they're just mystified because they just never realized, what was going on. Most people plan they spend more time planning their vacation than they really do their retirement, for the most part. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's just how, that's how we are. That's how people are, So
personally, we're probably just as guilty. I look at the government, they just, they've been irresponsible. They kick the can down the road. We'll deal with it later. Well, in our daily lives, we deal with that also. The average person does the same thing. I've got time. We'll deal with that later.
Well, the other
Mommy's
thing too,
got to go to Cancun this year, right?
Yes, I will. The other thing I think too is a lot of people think you have to have a huge bucket of wealth in order to plan for retirement or do investments, but it just a little. That's what I thought. A little takes you a long way, right?
It does, and really, when I speak to them, and we just kind of rearrange things, and we just kind of think it through, and we get like a game plan, and I can do an analysis for them. I can show them on a computer, all these tremendous illustrations that are fun to look at, but says, well, if you do this, here's what's going to happen. If you do that, that's what's going to happen. It's very visual, but it's not costing them any more money. It's not taking any. I'm normally just using what they already have. And if it's not that much, it doesn't make any difference. It'll still benefit them in the future.
Okay. Good to know.
Well, and James, veterans, you've been really instrumental in helping veterans, and a lot of bikers are veterans, and there's different products and just opportunities available to them as well.
Yeah.
And that's included in this dilemma as well, what veterans are facing and how you can help veterans. So we're talking about a dilemma, and it's the baby boomer dilemma. And James can get you a free voucher. All you got to do is call his number at 833-467-2865. This is some serious stuff. And Deb brought up a great point of our veterans. In your ad, you say, are you a veteran or know someone who is? And then it says a country that creates veterans should be prepared to care for them. That says a lot that, that's a message that you're putting out there.
Right. As a certified senior advisor, I know all the VA benefits backwards and forwards, and most people don't. And there's so many benefits, there's so many opportunities for veterans that they're just unaware of. And a lot of times, I've been on Boss Hogg Radio in the morning. I've had people have called in, and veterans that have, attested to this. But there's just a lot of things that I can do for them and help them. It doesn't cost them anything, but it'll give them, robust coverage, whether it's dental, vision, hearing. It will give them additional benefits that they don't currently have. It won't cost them anything, and then sometimes it'll actually reduce whatever their Medicare Part B premium is now that's being deducted from their Social Security check. So a lot of veterans, they don't know about these plans. They're just unfamiliar with it, and then they're just like saying, well, I've got the VA, that's all I really need, and that's fine. I'm not trying to talk anyone into not using the VA. I'm just saying that there's ways that you can enhance what you currently have and actually gain much more and have a better lifestyle as a result of it. I mean, one of the callers from the morning show that I advertised on here for a while called in. Well, I have several of them actually, and they didn't realize that they could get transportation at no cost, and they didn't realize that they qualified for that.
To go to the VA back and forth, or
and they wanted actually access. He lived. A couple of these people, they lived pretty far from the VA, so they didn't know that they could have a program that could give them access to the local urgent cares and have a local doctor if they didn't want to make the trip. But if they wanted to make the trip, they could have the transportation provided for them. So they were just unaware of what was available to them. And, most of them, when I talked to everyone's kind of skeptical at first because they're like, well, how come I don't know this? And the reason you don't is you're not in the business.
Or they sit there and say, why doesn't the VA tell me about this?
Yeah.
And why don't they? But they don't.
No, they don't. They don't really, they're not really set up with the staffing to do such. So I'm a big just believer and just doing the right thing. I've always tried to do the right thing, and I've always prospered as a result of it. Even like some of the a lot of stuff I do is really, it's no cost. It doesn't cost anything. It's kind of like you get back what you give. So
sort of like good karma here on.
Yeah.
I can feel that karma right now inside the studio here. We're not at the Strawberry Festival. We're in studio.
Yeah, no, I think that's really what it's all about, and that's what I do. And I really don't. I really can't imagine ever really retiring because work really isn't work for me. I mean, I really enjoy what I do and dealing with cohorts now that are my same age. That grew up listening to the same music.
Strawberry Alarm Clock.
Heard the same things that, we're saying the same things our kids that, our parents said to us. And I don't know. I just really, I love what I do.
So the opportunities for veterans, though, that isn't stuff that's available for Joe Public and Jane Public. I mean, these people serve their country, so they have additional opportunities, you're saying, benefits that they might not be aware of.
They do. Insurance companies have come out with these programs, and specifically because they've heard the public cry out loud and clear that, take care of our vets. We love our veterans, and, people remember the old Jane, Fonda crap and all that stuff with Vietnam. And I think it just seems like since when I really noticed a change in the attitude towards veterans was after 9/11, everybody was just, waving the American flag, and then just so realize how eternally grateful and important, the veterans are, and for, really all the people that serve in those type of, capacities and first responders and things in that. I think there's been a big tilt since then. So the insurance companies heard that loud and clear and created these products to better serve those individuals that, have essentially sacrificed everything for us.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's very good.
Yeah. I'm sure there's no veteran school that anyone sends them to so they can learn all about everything that's available to them. I bet they just all have to hunt and scoop it out.
They do. And I mean, it's no fun really looking into all that stuff as an individual. I mean, a lot of people, I'm not saying I'm the most fun person in the world, but most of the people that I deal with say, hey, I'm really glad I talked. I really can connect with you. And you don't seem like the typical, insurance or, investment type guy. You seem
Geek.
like someone.
Insurance geek.
Yeah, we got to hang out at Choppertown. You're a big part of Choppertown, helping us put that together. You were there, but when you were talking to the people, I just noticed that it's almost like just real down to earth, and just trying to. I saw that goodwill, actually, like almost a goodwill ambassador to help people in where they're going in their life, but. You're related to him, so you're a biker yourself. I mean,
right.
You have a couple of bikes, I know. That probably helped him too, but it's that passion I believe that you have, because you said it. You want to do the right thing, but you can make a difference in people's lives. I mean, not many people can just do that on when they sit down with someone and find, something that could help their future. I mean, I saw you working with the people, and you have that quality.
Well, thanks for saying that. It makes me feel good, and I try. That's all.
I mean, but people, that's what I'm saying.
I'm just a real person.
That's why it's important to give James a call, especially you're a veteran out there. If you know a veteran, if your dad's a veteran, your mom, your sister, your brother-in-law, the guy down the street, bikers are out there. And you don't just have to be a biker veteran. There's plenty of veterans out there. It's important, and that's just one aspect where James can help. And I guess the movie will do a lot for that as well. But how do you feel when you're able to, like, you hung out at Choppertown, Thunder by the Bay. What were you feeling from the people when you got a chance to talk to them or just watch what was going on in that room?
Well, I think that's why I was, got involved with y'all, with your mag and the radio station. I've always been a biker my entire life, and I've always felt the passion that other bikers feel, the freedom that you get out there. And I think it's just, I feel like at this point in my life, I mean, I'm 62. I mean, I've dealt with every mucky duck person in the world, more or less. and
Did you say mucky duck?
Mucky duck.
You know what I'm saying? So I've been in the tall buildings with the pinstripe suits and the tassel shoes. I've lived that life, and I just really want to focus now on the people that I enjoy the most, which is the biker community. So I think that's what you're picking up there. I mean, I've had a motorcycle since I was 18. Was when I bought my first Harley. And
wait, is that before you lived in the Wonder Bread?
Wait, I was going to get to that. Because
I can't go to the grocery store again. I can't get that burned out of my mind.
James has wined and dined with kings and queens, but he slept in alleys and ate pork and beans. The story, Fester, have you heard the story?
I have not heard the story.
When did you
the
take
Wonder
off on
Bread
that
bus?
Wait, first, just tell me when. What part of your life did you take off? And we're not going to say where yet, but what did you take off on that journey?
Well, my last year in high school, I graduated early.
Oh, so it was after you graduated?
Yeah.
Before college or anything?
Yeah.
So I'm going to let James tell the story, because this is part of who he is, people.
Real roots.
He just said it. He wore the pinstripe suit. He gained that point of the plateau of whining and dining with the kings and queens, and he's got the knowledge because he's only one of 3,500 guys that are qualified. But when he got out of school, he just said, "I'm going to California." So you went to California on your motorcycle.
Wait, where'd you start?
I left St. Louis.
St. Louis?
I started in
Okay.
St. Louis, and I went all the way to Venice Beach.
Venice Beach, where Jim Morrison hung out.
Yeah, right. And so when I was there, I really didn't have any place to live. I didn't think that far ahead. Where am I going to live? What am I going to do? So there was an abandoned Wonder Bread truck on Venice Beach, and that's pretty much where I stayed for a couple years.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean,
I had a cooler and a sleeping bag, and there was like a public shower and facility there that I could use. I could, I told you some stories on some of the stuff I probably can't say on the air. But
where was the bike? Just parked outside the bread truck?
Oh yeah.
But that just an average guy. I mean, in other words, that's probably helped keep you grounded and rooted, I mean,
I
all
had
these
a great
years.
time. Yeah, I don't regret any of it. And it was just, the memories that I can remember are fabulous.
And that was before college. So then how did you get started with doing what you're doing now? How did that change from the Wonder Truck to the high rise with the striped suits and stuff?
Who said it has to be college?
I don't know.
Yeah, no, actually, I had a scholarship, and I said screw it, and that's when I got on the bike and went to California. But the only university I went to was, the only school was probably the School of Hard Knocks. I mean, it's the tuition's very high, I got to tell you.
Yeah.
but it's so I don't recommend it for everyone. But it was good for me at the time, so I learned quite a bit, and I didn't get in the insurance business till. Or any like what I'm doing right now. Like 20 years ago, I was actually in the alarm business. I had a company called Security Link, and we built that with some other people, several offices, and then sold out to Ameritech, which was a baby bell company. And then I had nothing to do, and then I realized I wanted to get into I wanted to work again, and I wanted to do something that was really helping people, and so that's how I chose this field.
Wow, that is. So how did you gain the knowledge of that?
Well, you go through it.
To be able to run a 3,500 guy, come on, you just don't pull it out of your pocket.
You have to go through all these trainings and this and that, and you learn
so you're
all these
focused on
credentials.
that.
Yeah. I've always been actually really good in school. I was one of those people that never really had to study that did well. So I was blessed with that for some reason. I don't know why. So it all came pretty easy to me.
So
to figure it out.
In a bread truck for two years at least, but he said, I'm going to California, man. I mean that says a lot, people, about what kind of character he is. Now
You gotta find yourself, right?
I mean, but one other thing now let's talk family, man. Don't you have 5 daughters?
Actually, well,
4,
there's
3, 2.
4.
How many?
I have 4. Well, there is a 5th one though. There is a 5th one, but she only shows up. Well, she shows up every once in a while at pivotal events, but and everybody knows who she is. You know what her name is?
Tell me.
Not me. It's always who didn't put the dishes away, or who didn't do this. Not me. So I don't know. Yeah, there is a 5th. There is a 5th daughter. But yeah, I know. I actually only have 4.
You've never seen her, but she's there.
But she's around.
Yeah.
So what did you learn by having 4 daughters? How did that ground you even more to focus on helping people?
That's a funny thing. I mean, I've always loved kids. I mean, this will probably sound odd, and it seems odd to other people when I tell them. But my first job was working in a nursery school, and that's what I did in high school. And because I really liked playing with little kids, and I really had a good time with that. And then I served, when my kids were growing up, and I always worked in all the ministries, all the Christian ministries at the church and stuff like that. So I don't know. I just always have liked kids, I guess, because I'm pretty much, as my wife says, a little boy in a man's body. I don't know. That's just who I am.
Well, I think family's so important,
Yeah.
Fester in business. And I mean, you got a big family situation here with what you guys do and the generations. But I think it shows again the character of someone when they are a good family person. To raise 4 daughters, I mean, you really got to take care of them daughters and get them through school and everything that needs to be done. It just says again, people, James Irwin is someone you can trust. I mean, how does that feel when people say, "I trust that guy"?
Well, it feels good. I mean, the kids, they were great. Girls are, my experience at least, I'm looking around at them. My experience, it's like when they're 14, it's just like the head turns and everything's just haywire. But then when they hit 19 or whatever, then it seems like I can communicate again. But there's stages I think that you go through where they're really trying. Where I tried my best, but sometimes I felt like I could have done better, but wow, that 14 to 19 and plus all this
That age, whenever you're just asking, hey, kid, just meet me halfway.
Right.
Okay, just meet me halfway.
Oh my goodness! Yeah.
You know, then they want cars and insurance,
everything,
and if they get a ticket, there goes insurance.
And I'm
all that
sure
stuff.
they didn't pass down the homecoming dresses or the prom dresses. They probably got you for a new one every time, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you mean hand-me-downs? Oh, that's how it should work.
Oh no.
No, they
never
can't.
have
They have to be not nowadays.
No, because you have the whole photo session. You got to have that. So.
Oh, I know. And the pictures. I mean, everything's a big event now. It's a lot different than when I was in high school. That's for sure.
It
Or
says,
what I went through.
it says a lot though about the whole dilemma that we all are facing. We don't want to. We don't want to really admit it, but we are facing a dilemma here.
Well, what kind of stinks right now is the people that are 65 and older, they get their insurance health care through Medicare. And sometimes they, assign it to another carrier or whatever through Medicare, but yet they can't start collecting Social Security benefits until sometime 67. So there's a little bit of a sandwich gap there that's not filled. And then when they get to the Medicare, then they start using the plan, and then they find out the prescriptions there's this big donut hole, they call it. They've even nicknamed it a donut hole. Tell us what happens there.
Well, that's a good point that you brought up. And then I don't know if a lot of the people, I'm assuming, read your magazine. I mean, I know I do. I have for a long time. But there is a big ad in there this month about Glix RX, and this is it's a discount card that's free that people can request, and a lot of seniors will use that card to eliminate certain high-cost drugs from putting them in the donut hole, but they need to know how to use it. And if they call me, I can explain to them how they can use that card to their advantage. It doesn't cost them anything, but it can save them thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on an annual basis if they're taking a lot of medications. And a lot of seniors are. A lot of them, I mean, you'd be surprised when they'll come into the office sometimes and, they've got a list of prescriptions they're taking, and it's, wow,
So
20 plus.
yeah,
Debbie, I mean, now you sound like this expression donut hole. I mean, we all know what a donut looks like, and I guess is this falling in the middle, or what's the terminology for the donut hole?
Sometimes there's certain prescriptions that, I mean, when you can buy a Part D plan, which you need to, or you're penalized, and use that Part D plan.
Penalized? You mean the word?
Penalized by the government.
So the government will actually penalize you if you do not have a plan.
Yeah, they will. Yeah.
Okay.
So a lot of people take out these plans, and then the plan is paying for a particular type of prescription drug. Well, the full retail cost of that prescription drug is counted towards this donut hole, which creates this gap to where they have to pay a higher percentage out of pocket. So what the Glick RX card does, it eliminates, it brings the cost of those drugs down to a point to where it doesn't count towards the donut hole. So they never go into this donut hole, and as a result, they're saving a lot of money on it in a calendar year. It's just it's different for everyone. But that's, something else that I help people with is figure out how to get the most out of their
When you say different
prescription
for
drug
everyone,
plan.
I'm assuming because we're not all on the same treatments, the same
Right.
medicines and things
Right.
like that.
Right.
Okay.
And the Glick RX card, I mean, you can use it anywhere. You can use it at Walmart. You can use it at, Publix. You can use it, Costco, wherever you want to go. I mean, all you have to do is call the number in the magazine, and you're set up with it for free. And then you can download an app if you have a smartphone, and then if you're going to get a particular prescription, and this, you don't even have to be a senior to use it. You can be any age. But if you want to get the lowest cost on, XYZ drug, you just type it in and press a button, and it tells you what, based on your zip code, where you need to go. If it's Winn-Dixie or Kroger or whatever, and it'll tell you what the cost is, and then you just show up and show them the card, and voila. I mean, instead of it costing you $100, it costs you $12.
So what is this Glick? In other words, it's
Glick RX?
it's going to Glick RX.
It's a discount card.
Okay.
It's just a discount card that was created to help people save on their prescriptions, whether they're a senior or whether they're not a senior. Now,
So is it a premium paid thing, or is it kind of like this Good RX? And I've never looked into Good RX, but you see it on TV all the time.
It's exactly like Good RX. The reason why this was created, the reason this company, Glick RX, has been around for years and years and years. They were always using it primarily as a benefit for big corporations like Verizon, for example. Their employees got a Glick RX card as a fringe benefit, that sort of thing. So it's been around for a long time. Well, Good RX was helping a lot of seniors in the same way, and a lot of people in the same way as I just mentioned the Glick RX could do. But last August, Glick RX was sold, bought out by another company. It's called Go Health. And what people don't like about that is that since that buyout, merger, whatever you want to call it, a lot of the information is being shared. A lot of the client information is being shared. So now a lot of people that have Good RX are getting unsolicited emails and phone calls from everyone out of the woodwork trying to sell them this, trying to sell them that.
Oh, trust me.
And, and so Glick RX basically came in fruition because there were big insurance marketing operations. I was part of the biggest one in the country, and not anymore. But I left the business a while back, but. So all these big, insurance companies or marketing organizations got together and went to Glicks and said, hey, we've got, hundreds of thousands of agents that we would like to have offer this discount card instead of Good RX, because we don't like Good RX, the fact that they're sharing their information, their patient information, which they're not supposed to do.
I was going to say, I think that's legally impossible, right?
To,
I mean, in other words, this HIPAA and all of that. I mean, they're not supposed.
They didn't sign anything, though. You know how you normally have to sign a HIPAA that everything's compliant and this and that. So there's a lot of. So basically, everybody was mad at Good RX and just got together and decided, hey, let's start using Glick and let's use that instead, and let's drop kick Glick RX till the next to the next planet, and that's what's happening. And
it says right here in the ad, save up to $95 on your prescriptions, and the card is free, but it says at over 35,000 locations, and this is like. These are legit, man. Walgreens, Walmart, Kroger, Costco, Rite Aid, CVS, Albertsons. People, this can actually save money, and a lot of people have more than one prescription at one time.
Yeah, it's a big deal, and people, it's one of those things. You get it, and you think, is this really worth it? You know what I'm saying? I mean, sometimes you get a discount card or something, and you think, well,
wait, you mean when the kids come to your door and go, here's this discount card, right, and you got all these places to spend this thing at, and then you end up not using it
for the baseball team.
Remember, we always got that, so we never would use them.
I know, it's a donation.
But this is something reality here.
It works, and
they're not sharing data.
No,
there's a QR code right here on the ad too. They can just click that, right?
Absolutely,
The average guy, and I know myself, and I can be cynical. What's in it for? Other words, what's in it for them? Why should I do this? Other words, what does this accomplish? Okay. Other words, are they just collectively these people that have gone and put this massive system together? What are they getting out of it?
Well, they're getting a percentage.
Okay, so what they're doing is they're saying we've got a collective group of people
give us a discount.
Give us a discount.
Yeah,
we're going to get a percentage of it. You're going to get these people coming to Kroger, Walgreens, Costco, that sort of that situation. Is that how it kind of functioning and working, or
kind of in a way? It's just like they'll go to they'll negotiate a price with a particular drug company, and they'll say, well, we think we can sell so much of this, or and get so many people to purchase it.
So you're not really even going through the retail outlets. You're going straight to the drug companies then and trying to negotiate these things.
But the retail outlets want to be a part of it because they want to get people into the store. So, the next aisle over, they buy this or they buy that. So they all want to participate in something that's going to bring people traffic.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
that's why the pharmacist is always in the back of the store. So you have to walk all the way. You got to go all the way.
That's probably why.
Do you ever notice how tall they are back there?
Yeah.
Why do they always?
They stand on the platforms. I know.
What's that all about?
I think it's a raised platform back there.
It's like your washer and dryer on those risers.
So the Glick RX is in Born to Ride. Anybody's listening now and you hear it on the replay, feel free to check that out. We have it on our social media platforms as well. This almost makes us an agent for this, doesn't it, Deb?
And I wanted to show Fester while he was here. So I downloaded the app, okay, and it's real easy, quick download. So I put in amoxicillin, amoxicillin, antibiotic, whatever.
Right.
And I put in 500 milligrams, and I just push this, find lowest price. So now it's going to, it sees where I am right here on my location.
It's locating it.
Yes,
there.
And it says right at the top, Walgreens it's $5.50, CVS it's $7.33, all the way down to Walmart is $16.12. Now, who always thinks Walmart is the mothership?
You're right, and that's true.
I mean,
that is exactly
great job.
Yeah, look at that. So,
have you personally used it yet, or is this something that you just downloaded there?
I just downloaded it.
I have.
Yes.
That's cool.
That is a real demonstration there by Devil.
Yeah.
No,
Here you
absolutely.
go.
Yeah, smart stuff
here's
there,
what the
kid.
issue is. We have all been ingrained in our minds. We go to the doctor, and the doctor says, you need this prescription. Here's the prescription, and you go right to the pharmacist. We've never been the potato chip shopper. Meaning, should I get this bag that's 2 for $3 or this brand that's $1.99? We never shopped that way for any of our healthcare. Period.
Well, it's drugs.
X-rays.
Okay, I mean,
anything.
Never thought we could.
Right.
Are you generic versus the real thing?
Yes,
Okay, I mean,
name brand.
Yep.
And then
brands.
it goes off a name brand, goes to formulary, and then if you're not in the formulary, it's a certain brand, and then you get to the prescription levels that are just one-offs, that are just so high end. They still have research and development fees in them, but this will tell you and sometimes if you work and have a copay of $10 for a generic drug, this is even cheaper than your copay.
Cheaper than the copay. Yeah.
So you just jump right off your insurance plan and
say, hey, I'll just use the click card instead of my copay there.
Yep.
Deb, how easy was it to do that? Just tell us what you did to get there.
On the if you see the material for Glick, you'll see a QR code. So there's two QR codes there, whether you're have an Apple,
Android
iPhone, or Android, and you scan it, and it'll open right up. You download it, and then you just fill in your name and your email address, because they do send you some updates on your email, and then you just type in your prescription, and your card information is here and everything else to show the pharmacist. So when you go.
Awesome.
Bing, bang, boom.
Yeah, you need to do it that way, though, because there's going to be a code associated with the card.
Yes,
And so if you don't have that code, it's not going to work.
Right.
So
you just have to fill in
but
your
it's really easy to do,
access
and
code,
it works, and people, are giving it rave reviews, and your information is not going to be
shared,
sent out,
right.
to where you're just getting inundated with phone calls.
So they can see it in Born to Ride magazine. We're going to even start pushing this even more. We've already had good response from it. James, a lot of times I'll be talking to you on the phone. You go, hey, I got to run in. I'm about to do a speaking session, or I just got up. So you're like, you go around different places, but when you tell me you're doing these speaking engagements, I'm like, I wonder what that is. So tell us. I mean, what is it when you're doing those? Are you pumping people up? Is it a knowledge session? Is it a guest speaker? Or is it is it a big corporate company's hiring you to come in and speak? Or?
Kind of all the above, that kind of stuff. I do a lot of events, a lot of guest speaking events and things. No, not really motivational. Just, I guess it's motivational. It's mostly knowledge based, just for, different industry, people in the industry and this and that will want me to speak at their sales event or whatever seminar they have going on, and then a lot of these there's a lot of financial dinners that are available that, people get invited to them. If they show up at the local steakhouse or whatever, that sometimes they want someone to come in and talk about, what their options are. So I do a lot of guest appearances for that sort of thing.
Again, people, it just tells you why it's important to kind of like fly with the eagles, man, so you don't have to deal with turkeys. Mm-hmm. Someone on the line, Fester?
It was Roy, just one of our regular listeners, and he was talking to me about something earlier this morning. Just crossed his mind there. So
it's probably saying, "Talk about motorcycles. What's going on here? We want to hear about bikes."
Well, you got
he wanted to listen to some Leonard Skinner. Okay,
okay. Let me
it was a
Freebird,
request.
right? Play Freebird. That's what you used to always hear in the old days.
Yeah, the DJ would like that because he could go away for 10 minutes or something.
Yeah.
But James was in a band for a number of years, and whenever the crowd would holler out "Freebird," they'd all reach into their pockets and they come out, "Here's your Freebird."
That's one way to address it. Oh, God.
So, usually we do talk about motorcycles, and today we did. James took a ride across the country to California to live in a bread truck for 2 years, people. That was a great biker story, and I'm sure there's a lot more to talk about that.
Wait, what did you ride out there?
It was a 1978 Sportster.
Ironhead?
It was a 1,000 cc, and
Smaller gas tank.
When I think about, the peanut. Yeah.
Could you think about doing it on that motorcycle today?
Oh, goodness.
No.
No. Now I have a breakout, a CVO. So it's different.
With an electric start, no kick.
I mean, it's just not anything like it used to be. But
no rigid frame.
I know. I think half the time I was pulling over on the side of the road is before they had Loctite. And so, I mean, everything would vibrate loose, So all of a sudden, my license plate would be gone. I'd have to turn around and go find it, on the highway somewhere. I mean, that was a great bike.
We have a story like that. I was riding behind Ron in Sturgis, South Dakota.
The first time we ever went.
Yeah, and I thought there were acorns flying out of the tree at me. I was riding behind him. I'm like, oh, what the heck? But there were bolts falling off his bike. Then the fender fell off. Luckily, we stopped at an Indian reservation and bought some leather and tied it all back together.
Wow.
Yeah, we had to improvise. We had pulled a MacGyver out there.
Oh my gosh!
In the Badlands of South
The
Dakota.
Badlands. Oh gosh! I thought the walnut. I thought acorns were flying from the tree.
Yeah.
Walnuts or whatever. Nope,
You gotta love those hard-mounted engines, though. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what gave you the vibration. Everybody just adored it. But
Yeah.
wow,
Yep.
it was rough.
Man. So the dilemma is coming to an end today on this dilemma of this show. Sylvester, it really flew by.
Yeah. Good information. Really good information.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
I would have loved to have heard more about the cross-country trip, though.
we gotta do that.
I have to mention that some of that stuff off the air.
That's the thing about Born to Ride Radio here on Boss Lake. You just never know exactly what you're going to hear because it's part of reality of life and business and pleasure and that lifestyle we live. James, we can't thank you enough for being in studio
Thank you.
today.
Yeah.
Any last words?
No, thanks for having me on, and I hope to hear from some folks, and would appreciate the opportunity to visit with some people.
What's that number again to call you?
Well, the best number to call would be toll free, and I mean I have an office here in Tampa. It's on top of the SunTrust building, or the Trust building now. They changed the name. It's 833-467-2865. So 833-467-2865. They can call me. We can talk on the phone. We can have an appointment. They can come by the office. I can come to their house. Whatever works.
Awesome. Buster, take us home, Daddy.
Okay. Well, like we end it each week, stay safe. Keep it in between the ditches. I'll be heading to Daytona tomorrow morning sometime or another after the morning show. But as always, born to ride. Way to go, Joe.